Are you ready?
Hi, guys. Welcome to Henshin Hangout.
Henshin Hangout. Henshin Hangout. Ah, we're back. We're back.
All of us.
All of us. We lost Johnny again.
Boom.
Johnny,
Boom.
we keep losing you, Grease. What's going on, man?
I keep going to places.
You're busy.
My soldiers need me. My fallen soldiers need me. I gotta be there for them.
You're busy, man. You're busy. I get it.
Try to be.
Welcome, everyone. We are here with a new episode to talk about with Lupat and the second episode of Kamen Rider Zi-O. Zi-O.
Zi-O.
Who do we have in the chat right now?
We have DD2 Cosplay, Kamen Ranger,
What's up, DD2?
Ticketmaster fan, Toku Kid, Anthony Davis, Phil the Gorudu Charudu, if I mess that up, sorry if I mess that up. We also have Layla, of course, and Blackwing. You guys, thank
What's
you
up, B-Dub?
for showing up for the
Thank you.
Henshin Hangout. Thank you. I hope you guys enjoyed this week's episode, because we're going to dive right in.
Oh my God! Wait, what's this hashtag?
Oh, man. Yeah, you
man.
missed. Did you miss that little chunk?
Jezzer Reyes is monstrous.
I don't like that hashtag, but it's better than the last one that got
Yeah,
made.
no, I'll
It's fine.
second that. I heard the other hashtag.
The other one's
and
really aggressive.
don't put that
No,
one.
that is so strong now.
Pause on. Please don't do that one. Please, I am begging you. Monstrous is fine.
Yeah, monstrous is fine. No, stop it!
Little
You're
JD.
not doing that.
Stop it,
I don't
Nagami.
even know what happened. I don't
Little
want that. I
JD.
don't want that.
Oh, and shout out to DD Cosplay. Just said, David loves my comics. Thank you, David. Happy you enjoyed them.
David.
Okay.
David. My bad.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll jump into, as usual, we'll start with Lupat.
Well, definitely take my leave.
Hey, time out though. There's one great thing about this episode. They didn't focus too much on the Lupinrangers.
This is true.
on.
And to be honest with you, here's the thing. So again, like I said, like last time I was here,
Yep.
after I've kind of come to accept that this is the comedic show, my standards have not been lowered but have been modified.
Yeah.
And so again, we're going into it.
Yeah.
I like this episode.
Yeah.
But
okay.
it does have a couple problems for me.
Sure.
But overall, I did like this episode, though.
I agree.
Because I was really invested into it. I love it was actually, like, I got to see the Patrangers actually be cops.
Yes.
It's like I
Yes.
didn't mind that whole, like, funny comedy bit at the beginning. It was like, we're going to play these different characters because it came from Patranger Green, which like, okay, I expect this. But
Right.
then all of a sudden, they did some actual serious police work where they're interrogating this gang. We're like, no, he has rights. Telling Noel, you cannot go after his piece. He's in our custody. I was like, oh, wow, okay, this is being good. Like, there's actually no police work here.
We're doing
So,
some hardcore cop stuff in this.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
liked when Hilltop and what's her name?
Jim Carter.
Jim Carter came in with like costumes.
Oh, yeah, when they were supposed to be RoboCop and
You guys are
Murphy.
supposed to switch. So
I just can't believe that there were two references
yes.
to Axel Foley in the show. Not one.
Yep.
Not two, because we all know the Japanese children
Yeah.
know what the hell Beverly Hills Cop is.
I
That's
love
our favorite thing. So little Japanese shooter going around.
Okay.
It's
Jim
great.
Carter has the banana. This is absolutely Beverly
Yes,
Hills
and the
Cop.
fact that referenced the whole thing with putting in the tailpipe.
Oh
like,
my
this is
gosh.
such a deep cut. Like, they're actually fans of this.
I was surprised that he was going to reprise his role as the Beverly Hills Cop.
No, but he's doing Detroit's other famous cop, RoboCop.
Robo.
They're
Thank you,
both
Robo.
from Detroit. Axel Foley and RoboCop.
As a fellow Detroiter, that's one reason why I love this episode. I was getting all kinds of love. My city was on the map.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
And I love the fact that it wasn't like the new RoboCop. It
Yeah.
was OG
old
RoboCop with
RoboCop.
the silver and everything. I was like, yes.
Because there's only one RoboCop, and that's the one. Actually, no.
Thanks, Murph.
Side note on that. Second, Japan clearly loves RoboCop because Murphy is also referenced in Deca Ranger. So,
He is.
yeah, no,
Nice.
there is a robot dog. If you might remember Menace PD, and in Japan, his name is Murphy.
That is so dope. So
Dang.
dope. Deep cut.
So let's talk about this episode in terms of. You're right. This is one of the things I do like about the episode. It is a interrogation episode.
It is.
It's a straight up a Gangler literally went arrest me.
Yeah.
I got information. I want you to arrest me.
At one point, I did start believing that he was trying to go good.
Yeah,
Or trying to
sure.
like get a new life and all that. I really believe it's like, oh, that'd be interesting to see these Ganglers kind of like be part of the normal world, you know.
Society.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Sakuya's plan, in which he decided to play. They decided to do good cop, bad cop.
Yeah.
Why do you think it doesn't work?
I don't know. I think they know his reputation already. They already know these characters, and like, he's just bullshitting. I'm not gonna believe him when he's trying to play that stupid game on me.
You mean that?
Exactly.
You mean that wig isn't convincing?
And that makeup work. I mean, come on. He just saw him. He just saw him earlier, like how he normally looks. So it's.
Oh yeah.
And the whole was like, so, your family's from up north? What would your mom say? What would mama say? Oh, mama! Oh, mama! I was like, oh my god, it's hilarious. He's like, can we stop this now? Like,
He's like, I'm done. I'm done playing the joke now. Katsudon, I'll tell you this much. I love Katsudon, so that would probably make me go, yeah, sure, whatever you need. What you want? I love pork cutlet and rice and egg.
Oh yeah, just like it looked delicious. The little onion on top and everything. I was like, I'm getting hungry right now.
Can we go to Curry House after this?
We might have to. We might have to.
I am down if you guys are. Okay, so these tactics aren't working, and one of the things I do kind of like is that Tsukasa was like, hey, I'm gonna do my job and do this like an adult and actually just talk to the guy.
I love her more and more each episode that she gets. Like, at first I was like more leaning towards Zumika, but I like her. I like her a lot. She's really awesome.
Tsukasa to me is part of the thing I like about Tsukasa is that Tsukasa is obviously the best cop.
Yes,
of the trio, and the thing I
Easily.
like, and she's in the category I like to call business pink, in which. She's all business.
Yeah.
She does her job. She does her job better than probably most of the men.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And and she's always like on top of it, but she's still human. And that's what we got an element in this episode.
Yeah, we got that.
We got a super chat.
Super chat. Almost trusted him, but we know don't trust aliens.
Well, we know somebody in this table who don't.
You guys, we can't keep that gag going. That's gonna turn into something else, and that's gonna turn into something else, and I don't want that.
Listen, I'll allow that one, but from this point on,
Yeah.
let's stick off of Jezzer being a monstrous or alienist or anything like that. So actually, this is another thing too. We're here. Well, this is where Tsukasa is basically talking. What do you want to do? Like, what do you want to do when you get out?
Oh my god.
I like that little alternate world where she's like, "Oh, I want to be the president of the stuffed animal company or something."
Yeah, she wants to own a toy company, everything like that.
Shocks. Carrie sure wants to be a cop.
But
hey,
but again, like I love that though.
Yeah.
Because like honestly, like he's just the most endearing to me. Like I have so much respect for the Red Patranger because like he just wants to help people, and that's the thing. So it's like I want to be a cop. It kind of reminds me like we're gonna go to another cut. It goes to like Voltron, the animated series.
Yeah, sure.
And it was go with Shiro, and he's like, I just want to be a paladin.
Yeah.
That's what he was saying. They were like, why do you always want to be a paladin? I was like, because that's my role. That's what I want to be. And sometimes you got to respect somebody for, like, knowing what they want to be. Because then when we go to Green Range, it's like, I want to be a YouTuber. It's like, okay.
Of course you do, Sakura.
Okay. Tell you what, you come on the show with us.
Yeah, do.
Everybody, come on the show.
Come on in.
Is there anybody that knows anybody at the show? Maybe we can get them on the show.
If any of all you who are talking are actually in Japan and somehow
Do what you can.
let us help Sakura to his dream of being a YouTuber.
Moon Rider, whoever you are. You're in Japan, Moon. Right? Come on, over there and ask him.
we could have him on the show and have him give dating advice, how to get the girl. That'd be perfect.
DDT saying after Spotlight, let's do THS roast. I don't think.
No. You guys could.
Oh my gosh.
You guys could definitely do that. Yeah, I mean this episode was fun, and then we got this weird little.
That's no, you know what? And that's like, no, listen, the Gangler wants a nice home life. And Tsukasa's the nicest one. Yeah. Can we just do a little detail that I forgot to tell Nagami to include, in which while they're talking about his freedom, and they share a bowl of they both like to share a meal together of Katsudon, and then Tsukasa does a thing here.
Yeah, I saw. Yeah, go ahead.
So you want me to? Okay, I'm gonna keep going.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, Tsukasa does a thing here where she's like, "Oh, you got a little rice on your lip," and like she picks it from his mouth and then eats it, and I'm like, Tsukasa, what you doing?
I was gonna like, no, you can't be doing that. So you get Gangler herpes. Also known as Gurpies. That's how you get the Gurpies.
Come on.
I'm out.
Why are your tentacles in my mouth? Oh, what's happening to me?
I can't
Where
beat.
did this scent come from?
I can't beat that. So y'all have a good night. Don't forget to hit that
contagious.
smash button. I'll see you guys later.
Have a seat. You gotta
sit
save
down.
us.
But like, I will say though, like I gotta be real, like
Sure.
the part reason why I like this episode so much because like again from a writing standpoint, the thing about it is no matter what you write, you always want to take your like audience on a series of emotions.
Right. Yeah.
So I laughed during this episode. I like some of the action moments. At the same time though, I felt genuine emotion for this Gangler. I felt bad for him. I was like, especially when they showed him getting like experimented on and like tortured and everything like that.
Yeah.
And he just like wants a better life.
That's one thing that they did in this episode. They're building a super monster
Yeah.
of some sort.
Who's like covered in like
And
safes.
and everything like that. Yeah.
No, you're right. That actually really helped me with the sympathy of this Gangler when he, you see, it's like painful. You know, like he's getting like a safe ripped from his body, and it's legitimately kind of horrifying.
And that monster is scary.
Yeah,
Dude, it's got a gopher face with 2 screw eyes. I was like, what is going
that
on?
That monster is scary. They're like stepping up their monster game. It's like, damn.
No, that is some.
Even later on in the episode when we see the Gangler's true form where his head pops out.
Yeah.
That was scary too.
No, that was a little freaky.
Oh no!
scary.
And he's like talking about killing people.
It's like, dude,
Whoa.
like I was not expecting. I was like, oh shit.
Oh
what
yeah,
happened?
no, and actually, this is what you're talking about in terms of sad. This is a moment that I felt like, oh, that's a bummer.
It is
Because what we find out is that this is not his legitimate personality. It is a personality affected
by the
device.
by the device. Now, okay, there's a couple of the Lupin collections here for the Sentai fans.
But at the same time, though, right before when the Gangler gave him the device, I was like, again, that was one of those like nice moments where it's like he actually gave her the treasure. He's like, he has the remembering
that's
lie,
right.
and you're just like, holy crap, this is legit. But then we change the evil again. You're just like, damn.
Yep, time to kill him.
Yeah.
And that's a bummer because you're right. That was his choice. So like, here, Sukasa, take this.
Like part of me was like,
Not knowing that,
That will get rid of the person that she was becoming close with.
Exactly. And it's kind of interesting. Like, if this was like a Star Trek episode, because like Star Trek does like ethical things, the whole thing would be like, well, do you put it back in and make him good, or is this his true self? So which one is the real one? Which one do you respect? And that type of deal.
You take it out and then you kill him.
Well, and then there's the Jezzer approach, which is the reason why you have this hashtag. So there we go.
You need the
Don't be asking for no hashtags if you don't be acting like the hashtag.
You need the collection piece.
Who needs the police? Don't need a collection piece. The Lupins need the collection piece.
No one can have it.
You got a point there. At one point it's also now this is where the Sentai nerdom comes in for me. So the other some of the Lupin collection we've caught on here. So I saw earlier was the Patranger Changer, Patranger Changer, which you guys know from Dino Thunder. I saw the Gokai Jamo Pirate show up. Maji Ranger's cell phone changer showed up. But I want to bring up the one that was in the Gangler, and it's actually a legitimate, like, deep cut Sentai use.
What is it?
It is the Judgment device from Deca Ranger, aka SPD. And then I
thought it looked familiar.
And then I noticed it was on innocent mode.
Oh, that's a good catch.
Right?
That's a good catch.
It's like, so when it's in him, he's innocent.
Wow. That is a good catch.
I know normally I ask you guys what situation with the change.
Yeah, see,
I'm on top of it this week.
Dude,
Good job.
perfect.
Well done,
that is
well done.
perfect.
Thank you. No,
Good
right
job,
there.
Megami, getting that cut. Good job,
Thank
Megami.
you. You caught that? Awesome. Yeah, I see it right there.
Oh man.
Okay. So again, like after this, like they go ahead and the Pinkies are really upset. They go in to defeat this Gangler. They have an awesome fight scene and everything like that.
Right.
But then that's when the 5 Beasts like new monster Gangler shows up.
Yeah.
And then Goody shows up and they get depowered. And Goody's like, no, he has a device that negates other Lupin collection pieces.
Yeah.
Which is like, okay, that's so strong MacGuffin you got to overcome right there.
Yeah, for sure.
He's scary. Look at that. That is just like...
no,
He looks
thank you.
like a buff gerbil. He looks like a buff gerbil, like a buff. He's
Dude,
been hitting
that
the
is
gym.
scary, man.
I'm a buff
It looks like
gerbil
something out
and
of like...
I'm
It looks like out of Soul Calibur or something.
Protein shake
He does.
gerbil.
He does look like the protein creature or the protein person in Retsuko.
Ew! And I just so you look at his chest and it looks like a face, but at the same time it looks like pointy nipples at the same time.
His
Daniel, change the picture, please. Daniel, change the picture. Thank you.
Thank
Oh,
you.
there we go. There we go.
Thank you
Yeah,
so
thank you so much.
much.
He's
Good job
scary.
to get that safe.
I like how they're like making the monsters even stronger and stronger. You know, I thought it's gonna be like, oh, monster of the week all week, every week. But no, they're giving them a challenge. They're giving them this kind of could have been a 2-parter.
No, and in a weird way, it sort of is because we're gonna whatever the events here lead up to the follow-up episode. And yeah, no, we're in we're in a bit of a bind right now in this one. Yeah.
Do you think it's getting to the point where they are gonna, the Lupinrangers are gonna reveal themselves to the Patrangers and work with them? Is it still too early?
I still don't. I don't know if
this is 31.
It's true.
This is episode 31.
We're hitting it.
We're like halfway through.
We're over halfway through.
You're right.
I was looking at Gokaiger today because I was showing my students, which they love, by the way.
You show your students Gokaiger?
You guys know I run an anime and comic book club. And so,
you are a good teacher.
Yeah. So this Friday,
Can
we
join? Can we join?
Of course you can come on down. It's fun. We play Yu-Gi-Oh.
Like,
watch
will it be
anime.
weird? They'll be like, why are these grown men coming to their school?
Dude, like I've been running for 10 years. I have alumni stopping all the time.
You did this at your school? I didn't get this stuff when I was in school. What the hell?
I only had like
I was in marching
sports
band.
clubs,
I'm so
shop
sorry.
class, and like not fun classes.
It's like I did like.
But so was I though, and that's the reason why when I became a teacher, I started this club.
Man.
It was for guys like us who
when
like
you
we need a place to
had
hang
to
out.
pitch it to
You're
the
a good
faculty,
person.
where
You're a
they're
good
like,
guy. You're a good guy.
as long as you do that and you're not getting paid for it, you can do whatever you want.
And that's literally what
That's
they said.
really what they
literally
said.
10 years, haven't seen a dime. But I do it every
It's
week
like,
for 'em.
hey, is there any money value of to me keeping these kids off the streets and like keeping them out of trouble? No. All right, fine.
There it is.
But so yeah, right here, is like like their move to try to take care of the creature, doing the combined mode thing, which doesn't work.
No, because again, he has the Lupin collection piece that negates it. Now, I will say this though, I love this episode, but as we go towards this, like they grow big, and then the Patrangers with Goody, they fight him and everything like that, but they get defeated, and even Goody the whole time is trying to run away,
Right.
And then we kind of run away, and we kind of wrap up, and it's like to be continued. But I had two problems with this episode. I'm gonna need you to help me explain.
Sure.
So there's like two plot holes that kind of stick out for me. Okay, number one, Noel noticed. He knew what that collection piece was.
Right.
Why didn't he just tell her ahead of time? Now, here's the thing, though. I love the story.
Sure.
I love the episode. But the thing about it is, though, just from a writing standpoint, I'm like, you got to find a way to work around that.
Right.
Why did he should have revealed this to her? Maybe should have told her.
And I think my only answer for that is this only kind of furthers the point.
That Noel is
Not to be
only on one
trusted.
team.
Yeah.
He's out for himself.
He's out for himself, and he's out for the Lupinrangers. He's
Exactly.
not out for the Patrangers.
Which goes to my second thing
Sure.
about because the reason why I'm not starting to enjoy Noel's of late is because when the Patrangers they go into their bottom and everything like that, you think, okay, we're the police, we have to protect the city, we have to defeat this Gangler. He's grown big. It's not about us fighting him or trying to get these collection pieces. He is a danger we have to try to defeat, even though we know we might lose, which is honorable and noble. But notice this when they go to their Zords, Noel doesn't.
Yes.
So what do you think? What like if you were to try to anticipate what's going to happen in the future, what do you think is going to happen with Noel?
I think something's going to happen. Where going back to your question earlier, where you said like, when are they going to reveal themselves to each other? I think the moment they're going to reveal themselves to each other is going to be something sitting around Noel. We find out actually Noel's purpose.
Yeah.
Because we know why the Lupins want to get the collection pieces. We understand why the police try to defeat the Ganglers, but we really don't know Noel's purpose yet.
I agree.
So I think when we figure out Noel's like purpose and everything, that's when we're going to get that moment where we're going to see both teams actually come together and identities be revealed.
Do you think he's going to be bad?
I don't think he's
no. Go ahead.
No, he's a ranger, so I don't think it's going to ever be bad. But I think it's going to be a reason where he felt he needed to keep it secret. He didn't think they would understand.
I think and I'm totally with you on this in terms of Noel, and he's part of the reason why I've sort of got a little bored with him is because of the lack of motivation, a lot of focus for him, and I think I kind of liked the mystery element of him and being kind of a little shades of gray, and I wish they played that up more.
I agree, because like when we talked about this show before, like as I was watching this episode, I was like, "This is a great episode," and you know what have made this series overall much better for me? Had this not been episode like what was this 31?
31.
Had this been episode maybe 21?
Right, and using Noel here,
Exactly.
using Noel in this fashion.
Had we moved this up to episode 21 and we kind of condensed some things, the plot would be a lot stronger. Because here's
agree.
because even at the beginning of this episode, the Lupins were actually talking about the Ganglers. They
Yeah.
were talking about the generals by name. So we see the plot starting to advance a little bit more and everything. So had they moved this up, I think things would have been a little bit better for me for the series overall.
Yeah.
Because right now, look at it comparing this to other Sentai series, we usually get to about episode 48, 50 or so. And so we're about 19 episodes away from the end, which would have been dope again if they didn't have episode 21. We would have had a cool, like, long arc to kind of go through and explore some stuff.
I agree. And this is kind of where I feel like I kind of brought this up to you guys earlier where the show was kind of frustrating you, both of you, the most. And I point out, like, that's generally where, for me personally, where Sentai gets in this weird rut. Even shows I love get into this weird rut, and they feel like they're kind of just running circles and doing light episodes or episodes that kind of don't go anywhere. And I feel like that's, Lupin was in that phase for me. And I feel like, I was not arguing with you both that much in terms of it's not working for me. Like, it's kind of weak right now.
No, you still love it.
I still love it. Because I was being patient with it. Because I always knew I knew this is the moment it was going to be like, this is when Lupin's doing that.
Yeah.
He's doing that thing that I've watched in every Sentai show, even the ones I adore. They have that moment. And so, all right, we'll see how it goes. And if the wheels keep falling off, then they screwed up. But this episode and the last episode, I think we're cooking up again. Yeah. So me personally, and I feel like especially because me and Jezzer really liked last week's episode, and so in this episode it seems like you're a little bit more on board, at least for this ep.
Yeah. And exactly, there's some things there that need to be answered, but again, like I'm on board. I'm happy they got to this point. Yeah, I guess the thing about this is that when we talk about this series, like its strength, like overall, the fact that those first 30 episodes were a little bit weak in some areas, this was going to hurt on like the grand scheme of things. Sure. It's like the reason why we love like Q Ranger so much, the reason why we like Go Kyber so much. They both those series kind of hit the ground running. They always have those like silly episodes where it's like, just kind of killing time.
It's a good change of pace a little bit. Kind of slows things down a little bit. But I mean, so far with this season, it's been like, we're going the right direction. Let's slow down for like 3 episodes. We're going up in the right direction, and then slow down another 3 episodes. Like it's kind of like. It's I don't know. It's just weird. It's a weird feeling. It's a weird momentum thing that they're doing.
But right now, like this bit here with Noelle and Tsukasa, I really love this scene in the stairway.
Super chat from Kamen Ringer. Should Super Sentai lower its episode count?
I think it wouldn't hurt.
To like what? Like 20?
Maybe. Here's the thing. I've been kind of.
Our producer says
more. Here's the thing. I've been watching a lot of the new recent Ultraman shows. Yeah. So I started with Ultraman X. That's my first new Ultraman show. I then watched Ultraman Orb. And I'm currently watching.
What's the newest one?
The current one's called Rube, or Ultraman Rube. I'm not watching that one yet. I'm watching the one that was the last year, which is called Ultraman G'd. And I'll tell you this much. I am loving these new strings of Ultraman shows. But the unique thing about them is that they're all 25 eps. And
it's not bad.
That's not bad. But you know what? There's less filler. They get through a lot of plot. They do plenty of stories that focus on individual characters.
And the production value is probably up.
And the production value is obviously up. Now, they've done it good. Now, Mabius is their last 50. This was an Ultraman show I watched where it was like 50 episodes or so. And there wasn't a bored episode in the entire series. So it's not like you can't. But Sentai and Rider, they tend to more often, especially because of how the crazy production
schedule is. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, yeah, and like, what do you think, Jezzer? I'll give my response.
To the 22, I think 22 is solid if all the episodes are good.
Sure, of course.
30 maybe. 30 would be a good one. I mean, you have that little cushion for some fun episodes. Yeah. But yeah, I think 60 or 50 is a lot. But I mean, they've been doing this for years, so yeah. I mean, why change it now? Yeah. I mean,
how about you? What do you feel? Do you feel like longer episode, like the same amount is good, or did you think it'd be better if they maybe shorten it to like 30 or 25?
So on one hand, if you shorten it, it gives you more of the opportunity to be like more concise with your storytelling and whatnot. Yeah. At least you just gave that example of Ultraman that works really well. However, when I think about the system they've been using like currently and whatnot, the 50 episodes pretty much goes for about a year. Yeah. So the cool thing about that is though, it gives you a year once a week to like do some long-term storytelling. Yeah. And just like we saw with Build, and we all kind of love Build. The cool thing about it was though, is that especially when you have multiple characters, it gives everybody like a mini arc. It gives every character time.
Okay, see, that's true. That makes sense.
True.
Like, because for example, like Rogue. We had to see Rogue start off as a villain, and then kind of go take a powered up villain to like all of a sudden to be one of our favorite characters who became a member of the team. Yeah. And so you don't get a chance to do like a long form storytelling arc like that in 25 episodes without it feeling really rushed.
But the thing is with that, Lupat's not really doing that.
No, I agree with you because this is the other thing I was thinking about too, though, is that when a Sentai series is good, they do it and then some. Going back to Go Kyber and Q Ranger, in those series, they had a lot of great arcs for each of the characters. Yeah. Like by the end of Go Kyber, we knew each character's arc where they started from. Yeah. Like again, what was cool when I was showing it to my kids on Friday, I was like, they were like, "Oh, we really like Luca," and I was like, "Oh," and it was like, "We don't like the Pink Ranger," and I was like, "No, you gotta like Han because Han has this."
Just wait.
Exactly, Han has this dope arc. We go blah blah blah, and like, okay, we want to check this out. And so no, I agree with you, but I think the problem with Lupat is though that's the reason why I was so hard on in the beginning. It's because we had too many episodes where we were wasting time. There's too many episodes we should have been developing characters. Because to be honest with you, at this point in time, we're 31 episodes in. I've seen the Lupinrangers become a little bit more fond of the Patrangers, but I haven't. If you ask me like what's somebody's like major arc or how somebody really changed,
it's kind of like that last scene from that one episode where they're watching the fireworks, where
they're
giving this look to each other. It's like that doesn't really make any sense because only one side is knows
what's
the
going
history
on
between the two.
I'm a little easier on it. I'm not so much easy. For me, it doesn't bother me as much as you two. I feel like I'm enjoying both sides equally, but I will admit that right now it's the strongest. It's been also 2 episodes where I feel like it's this episode and last week's episode are actually some really good Patranger episodes.
Yeah.
Not just the Lupin. Actually, this is one of those cases where the Lupins are actually kind of holding on the back.
And honestly, it's a good thing because the Patrangers, again, you got to think about the fact they're cops. There's a lot of cool things you can explore with that.
Yeah.
Again, from doing this interrogation, we can actually see actual undercover work.
Yep.
We can see a lot of cool things that we really haven't got a chance to explore with the Patrangers.
I mean, the undercover work would be all comedic, though, right?
It would be because I remember they did the chef episode.
Yeah.
And they had actually sent the Lupinranger, the Lupin Blue Ranger, because they were too awful at it. But at the same time, it was like, guys, come on. It's like, you are cops. Like, obviously, maybe you don't go as the chefs, but you'll go in as a producer on the cooking show, or maybe as a sous chef, you get an actual chef. It's like, again, but as you agree, they just kind of look at him as comedic. Where had they looked at him a little bit more seriously, I think more people would be fond of the show. Because I agree with you, you have to be patient, but I think at the same time, though, there are opportunities that were left on the table to make this show better.
I think another cool thing that I'd like to see is the other people in the police department.
Yeah, that's always a weird case in these shows.
Is there only 3 policemen here?
I mean, that's the same problem with all these shows that like should be in the organization, and I'm saying that's interesting. There's like only 5 people I see here.
It's kind of like that Deadpool joke. It's like, every time I come to the mansion, there's only 2 of you.
Yeah, it's like,
is that a budget problem?
It's like, where's the other X-Men? No, because like that even happened in like one of the Q Ranger once in a while. I remember like going like, oh, there's a big school of training kids. Going, really? It looks like it's just Kota.
Yeah.
Or like or like in another, I'm using Decker Ranger a lot because it's the other cop show, but it's like there's a case where it's like, clearly this is not shot at Toei's production office, right? That's a police interrogation, and like there's a bunch of other cops, we just don't see them.
Yeah, they're busy. They're busy.
You know what show is good about it though? Go Busters.
Oh.
Go Busters is very good about showing.
Is that something to be on? To be optimistic about going into Beast Morphers?
Well, I mean, like they would have to try really hard to screw it up.
Well, gotta try really hard.
Like you gotta try real hard.
We should have like a live commentary. Oh, look at that! They messed up the show just right there. That's one strike on them. You know.
Not working out. No, screwed it up right there.
We have no idea what that is.
I don't know what that voice is.
I was wondering. It sounded very southern, and if I was worried things were going to get racist, so I just stayed quiet.
No, that's a good
and
call.
just wanted to watch it for a minute.
I was leaning towards like Ed Sullivan, but I'm wondering, like, you guys know who Ed
I
Sullivan?
was leaning more towards like old school like sports radio, you know.
Oh, you from the baseball game? To the center
like
field. Lucky
he's
ducky.
taking first. He hit a home run. That's a home run. It's out of the park.
We
There
both
it goes.
failed because apparently you heard Southern, so we'll just move on.
But all in all, so what's our ratings for the show?
Out of 7 Blue Patrangers.
Oh, okay. I was like 7. That's a weird number.
Because it's like, man, I'm kind of well.
I'll give it a 4.5.
4.5?
Yes, sir.
Out of 7?
Out of 7?
Okay.
It's a decent episode.
Okay.
Still doesn't beat. What's my favorite episode, Johnny?
The one where they go to the haunted house and everything?
Yeah.
That's a fun one, yeah.
Doesn't beat that. That's the top. You gotta beat that to win me over.
Okay.
For me, because I've been so critical of it, there's actually a lot of things I wanted. We saw the Power Rangers more serious. The Lupins got to kind of like, did their own thing in the background.
Yeah.
And we got to see them be like develop a story. And again, I felt all the emotions. I felt bad for this Gangler. Then I was literally surprised and I was asking questions about what's going to happen to him.
Yeah.
It made me intrigued where I was actually wondering about the storyline. All in all, if we're going to do this out of 7, this is a style of 6.
Nice.
That's a solid 6.
That's a good score.
Like I like this episode. I was literally watching. I was like, I'm enjoying this. I'm asking questions that I don't know the answers to. I'm waiting to see how this all develops and whatnot. And at the end, I was asking questions. Why didn't Noel tell them from the get go? Why didn't Noel join them in battle?
Yep.
Blah blah blah. So all of a sudden, it was like, so again, I'm looking forward to next week's episode. And then honestly, the preview for next week's episode, where I see Patranger Red going against Noel, I'm like, give him that work. Give him that work. Give him these hands. It's been coming. It's been coming. Because you see him every episode. It's like, oh, Noel's playing us. Oh, Noel's thinking he's doing this, but he's about to get them hands. It's coming, Noel. You thought you was getting away with it, but now he's coming for you.
But the thing is, I feel like Pink is more like has more animosity towards Noel than Red does.
But see, that's the thing though. Noel's thing about the Red, Patranger Red, always been playing it cool. Because remember, like when there was that auction episode, he's like, they were like, we called him, was like, nah, Noel's having us clean up his mess. He just kind of walks away. Yeah. But you know how much of a hot that is. So you know, inside he's angry. He's like,
he's in this.
I'm going to get him.
He's in that.
I'm going to get him. And when I get him, it's going to be good. So I'm looking forward to this battle. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm same as well, and I give it. I'm with Johnny. I'll give it a nice 6 Lupinranger. That's a 6 amount.
That's decent.
All right. What's that?
We got. Let's go. Let's see what they gave.
What are the people saying? What did they?
Blackwing gave it a 3.5 out of 5 because this was actually a good episode. Panda Blas gave it a 5 out of 7.
Right on.
Anthony Davis with 2 eyebrows gave it a 4 out of 5. Anthony Davis also says or 6 out of 7.
Okay.
Layla gave it a 5.5 out of 7 because Noel wasn't that annoying.
He wasn't
that annoying because he was really barely in it.
That's true.
Alturius, sorry if I killed your name, is 2.5 out of 5.
Yeah, I like Anthony Davis' reaction. Like, jeez, Alturius.
all in all, it's a good episode.
Yeah.
Which isn't saying much for the show.
I love what you call. I love what you call this comment. Who DD cosplay? Hell is frozen over. Johnny gave it a 6. Trust me, I felt the same way. I was like, oh wow, this is a good
Edward Sanchez gives it a 4.5.
Now, before we move on to Zi-O, episode 2, Johnny, you were not here last week. I would like to hear your thoughts on episode 1.
All right, give him the mic. He's
okay. So where do I even start?
Oh, please. Okay. And making sure we have to talk about the other. We have to talk about episode 2.
Is there a way to like just zoom into Johnny because he's going to go into a little monologue? No?
No, it won't be a monologue, but I just got to say, I am loving Zi-O. There's so many things to love about Zi-O. First off, the theme song is amazing. Like, literally, the song was playing, I was just like, okay. Like, oh, this is hot. I'm loving this. It was like a little like BTS, a little like Big Bang, like K-pop type deal. I was like, I'm on board for this. This is hot fire. Again, I love the suit. The suit is bad A. I love the storyline. I like that opening scene right there where he's like the king in the future. He's just like destroying people. I'm like, who is this dude?
Is he though?
But that's the interesting thing. And so all of a sudden we go to his present self. And so now the whole journey is like, will he become this evil king or won't he? And he's like, and I love how he said, because the whole time at the beginning of the episode, he was like, I'm going to be a king. But then right before he moves, he's like, I want to be a king because I want to help people. I want to make the world a better place. And the only way you can do that is by being king. And I was like, oh, chills. It kind of reminded me like Luffy from One Piece right there. Yeah. And I was like all on board for this. So I was like, okay, I'm loving this character. I'm loving the whole time paradox thing where they're coming back to kill him, Terminator style almost. But at the same time, though, I'm like, but wait, is he kind of good? Is he not? We don't know what to do right here. So again, I'm all on board for this. And we got Build in the episode as well. Yep. And we got Banjo.
Banjo and Build.
So that first episode made me hooked. I was like, okay. I'm ready for episode 2.
I like how his suit, like the little abdomen portion is like a.
It's a wristwatch. It's a wristwatch. Yeah.
I didn't pick up on it until this episode. I was like, oh shit.
and I love his Henshin too. The way he puts it on there, it spins it around. Yeah. It's so.
And they each of them have a different motion for doing it. Like it's not just like is it gaze?
Gates.
Gates. Is it Gates?
No.
Gates.
The translation is like to Gates.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you guys did the
Gates.
Yeah.
I also like those little mini episodes.
Yeah, it's the 1.5 thing like that. Yeah. Like I was watching this week, I was like, what? 1.5? And I watched, I was like, okay, this is kind of cool. I'm loving this right now. You're explaining the meaning behind the names.
And it makes sense too because it's a lot to digest.
Right.
Like,
no.
Especially with time travel, like watching. I watch The Flash. Sometimes when they get into that, I'm trying to rationalize everything. I'm trying to
and sometimes the time travel gets really wonky in The Flash.
I'm trying to figure out how Reverse Flash is still alive. How many times does he have to die? But these little mini episodes in between make it easier.
No,
Go ahead.
Go for it.
I was gonna say the other cool thing about it too, though, is that like for a seasoned vet like yourself, you can pick up certain little things like, oh, this is a reference to this, this is a reference to that. But as we get into this, we start encountering like new Kamen Riders and whatnot. It's gonna be cool for those like 1.5s. Gives a chance to get to know them more, learn their history more, and bring us more in. And the cool thing about it is, though, because again, I don't speak Japanese. Justin doesn't speak Japanese. Justin knows like half the language. So the thing about this though is that like when they're explaining the meaning behind the names, I'm like, oh my gosh, those are all very smart names. They're like you all took time to develop and everything like that.
It's an anagram for
exactly. And this means the kanji this. When you combine this, it means this. Like, oh, okay. So they're all plays on the name time in a way.
Yeah.
With this going to the next episode, with this episode, I'm right now. I'm trying to figure out who's who. Who's on which side? Who's good? Who's bad? Who's what? each person's intentions are.
Okay.
Oh, and thankfully, we got here a nice, handy dandy, character chart.
Yep. So let's break it down. So obviously, as of right now, in this timeline, Sougo is good. Good. Junichiro.
His uncle is well. We'll see.
We don't know because we've learned from the last series you can't trust uncles all the time.
Yeah, no,
so for now,
or dads.
We'll just say good now.
Yeah. Tsukiyomi
and guys, misguided or like they don't.
Well, I feel like Tsukiyomi and guys have their mission, and Tsukiyomi is a little clearly not wanting to murder Sougo right now.
Whereas guys, that was his intention.
He's waiting for his reason.
That was his intention.
I
don't know about Waz.
Waz is
I lean towards good.
I like Waz and Wool. I like them. Yes, Johnny.
So I had a question. So
yes, please.
Please don't judge me for this.
It's okay.
Wool.
Yeah.
Is
a man.
Okay, just making sure. Okay, all right, just making sure. I was like, I think that's a guy, but at the same time, he's androgynous. I was like, but I wasn't. I was just wondering.
I think androgynous is direct.
Yeah, because I was trying to figure like, huh?
To be clear, the actor is male. So Wolves is entirely. Right now, as far as I know, androgynous, and that's all I got.
Okay. He kind of looks like Rachel Lee Cook. He kind of looks like Rachel Lee Cook.
Yeah. Or they.
He does.
Maybe they go by they and them pronouns for all I know. I mean, like, it's possible. Yeah.
Yeah. But can I say this though? Mm-hmm. I'm loving Wool though. Wool is legit.
Wool's my favorite.
I'm a huge fan of time travel. That's really part of the reason I love the Flash. I love characters like that. Back to the Future. So I love Wool's power set. I love the fact that Wool is going to capture people right before they die. Yeah. Which I'm thinking like, oh, that's just really smart. It's kind of like the Netflix TV show Travelers. Travelers, the way that it works. Oh, we got a super chat.
I think Zi-O is Shocker and maybe Sougo.
So you think he is Sougo? And you think Shocker, good old fashioned Kamen Rider villain. The beginning, the first Kamen Rider villain, Shocker. Think it's Shocker? Could be Shocker.
There it is.
It's probably Shocker.
There it is. Might be. But like,
and folks, don't forget if you want us to read your comments, like Toad Kid, super chat us. Super chat. All right.
And then also the thing about this also like the TV show Travelers on Netflix, it does this thing where like they're trying to save their future, so they're sending people from the future to the past. Yeah. But the way they're doing it is they're inhabiting bodies of people who are about to die.
Right.
Yes.
Because it makes the most sense. Because that way
you're not affecting really the timeline. Exactly. They're gonna die anyway.
And you know exactly. So in this episode where she shows up and she recruits that guy right before he dies, it's like, so you have a choice: either serve me or meet your fate. And it's like, well, you would understand why good people will go ahead and serve her. Right. Which I was like, okay, this is smart. This is well thought out. I just called it her. Oh, sorry. Would serve him.
Yeah. I will say I really like Another Build. I did design wise. Yeah. He's freaky. I like the sort of use of CGI to enhance the movement in the face and everything. I think all that stuff is super cool in terms of the character design.
How do you like the design of Gaze and Zi-O?
I like
how similar they are.
Well, it's to me, it's the similars obviously because they're the same. They're on the same rider show, so they're gonna have the same look. And also I bring up the decade comparison quite a bit. And I know both of you haven't seen that show yet.
Yeah, but you told us it's like time travel based and whatnot.
And that one is alternate reality based, which is funny because that seems to be the case in this show, in which we get a weird alternate present because something went wrong in the past. That seems to be the premise of the show. In classic time travel fashion, something screwed up now, so we gotta go travel back in time and fix it.
See, that's the interesting thing about this, because it kind of goes back to that question we asked earlier about 50 episodes versus like 25. Yeah. There's a lot of time travel stuff they're going to be doing here. Yeah. And it looks like they're going to really take their time and really think this out to explain some things. Right. Because, I mean, it's cool if we jump around, right?
Sure, it's fine.
So it's that whole thing where at the end of this episode, they defeat the monster, but Sento doesn't go back to being Sento. He goes back to being Kaguragi. Yeah. And so you're just like, okay, so what happened there? And then in the 2.5, they begin to explain that. Yeah. And you're like, okay, so all this stuff is going to have tiny ramifications.
They did, but they also kind of didn't. That's kind of one of my weird things about the rules. It's kind of not clear to me, even with 2.5. It's like, I sort of get some of it, but then that third, they literally said, part 3 is, so why this? And literally, Sento goes like, shut up, Banjo.
Well, no, that's an interesting thing. Like, when he gets to the third, I rewatched it twice. It's like, when he gets to the third rule, it was like, mind your adult business. And he was like, no, and it's like, and then it cuts. It says to be continued. And so to be continued, the next one's where we get the third rule.
I hope so.
But at the same time, though, that's the reason why we were saying earlier, I think Sento and Banjo are going to come back, because think about it, we can't just lose Sento.
Right.
And don't forget, Sento does have a movie come out. So
no.
So
at the very minimum, we'll get Sento. We'll catch up with Sento in the crossover movie.
Exactly.
So I mean, okay. So here's some truth.
Here you go.
You clearly did not watch our last episode, because me and Jezzer felt a little underwhelmed in the first step.
What? What do you mean?
I'm not. Look, first off, I'm not on board with the what are those traveling,
motivation? The time jackers.
Traveling, the time traveling little machines.
The frogs?
I think
the time.
Yeah.
Yes, they're transformers.
The time
they jump
machine.
into their chest.
The time
They're
machine.
mini Gundams, Jezzer. They're mini Gundams.
It looks so out of the animation looks so out of place. It's just I don't know. It looks like a really bad I don't know, commercial.
Really?
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, I'm not feeling Sougo. I'm not feeling his motivation.
Yeah.
It doesn't work
to
for
be
me.
king?
Yeah, it doesn't. It's too vague for me.
Yeah, I think the most interesting character right now is Gaze.
In terms of writers,
Yeah.
I can see that. And like I have a weird feeling that Sougo is not smart.
Oh no! If Daniel could please bring it up, one of my most hilarious moments of this episode was the fact when he gets the build. He's like, all I do is like shake it or whatever, and then you see the math stuff start flying.
No, that's good. That's good. I'll give you that.
It was all simple math, like lucky number plus lucky number.
There's a moment where Sento's literally looking at the sky, going, "I screw."
Chat.
Okay, here we go.
Think every Rider season before is exactly what we saw it till an A Rider is created, and that season's history is changed into no longer the same.
No, man, yeah, I sort of kind of got that, but it's still kind of wonky.
You think there's also a reason why he let them keep the little clocks or the little watches?
Why Sento did that?
Yeah, no.
Or
why,
Tatsuragi?
No, why he gave it back to Sento and Banjo?
Because again, it's kind of like Bill and Ted rules.
Yeah.
We have to do the thing in the past to make sure we get it in the present.
Exactly, because so that would have that makes sense. But so I feel you guys, but honestly, like, because you were explaining to me last time, because we're in a new era now. Yeah. So there's a new production team coming on.
It's a new writer, it's new producers.
And honestly, there's a lot of stuff that I loved about this. Like one, again, I love the fact that he was like, "I'm going to be king." It was one of those things where he's like, he said it from the get go. So again, as a One Piece fan, it was very Luffy-esque to me. Where I'm like, cool, we can, because like here's the thing: if you ever read anime or manga, sometimes Goku, Naruto, Luffy, they start off very one dimensional, but hopefully they develop over time.
And I hope so too. Here with Sougo, right? Yeah.
I was kind of cool about that, but then I also love the subtle directional things. Like for example, when they showed the time period they went to, it was like through the shining of a light on the building type deal, which came up very subtle. It was like, ooh, that's very different.
I like that.
I'm loving some of the new changes we're making as we go along with the series. So I feel you guys. I can see like where like.
It's still early. It's definitely still early.
It's still very early, and there's a lot of me trying to hold on. Get that? That's not fair.
Thank you, producer
That's
Daniel.
not fair.
This is what happens when you question giant robots.
That's not
giant
fair.
robots are always
Hold
cool.
on, pause. Come on. That's not cool. Like that was our opinion. We're gonna talk.
Johnny's right. Daniel agrees.
Come on. I do like that.
I hate him. There, fun. I said I hate Sougo.
I
hate Sougo. I hate him.
Damn,
I hate him.
bring it back. No, I'm joking.
I hate it.
I do like that they have bikes in here. For how long? We don't know.
Well, less than a minute apparently in this episode.
Longer than Bill. No.
He definitely wrote. Bill definitely wrote his bike way longer in episode 1 than this episode.
Let me ask you this.
Sure.
Did Banjo have a bike?
Yeah, he did.
When did Banjo ride that bike?
Well, he got rid of it, but
there it is.
But Sento rode that bike a lot in the beginning, and then they forgot. He wrote in episode 1, might I add.
Yeah,
and then this episode he got
the opening credits.
Yeah, no, he wrote it literally in episode 1. Don't give me that. Don't rewrite history here. Don't rewrite history like they rewrite history here.
I'll rewrite whatever history I want to. Let's go, Zi-O.
I did like this scene where he kind of like he drove off the road and he just turned around and hit.
In the head, I was like, oh, that's smart. Yeah. That's smart. I'm on board for this.
Right now, my feeling with Sougo is like, I will play with the idea that he's an idiot, and if the show shows me other elements of him that he grows to be being smarter or more sympathetic, I will be cool with it because that's an arc. That is an arc.
Because don't remember though, because it was kind of cool because immediately when he still looked at Build, he helped them, but then when he noticed he didn't destroy it, he was like, wait, I need to go to Banjo, I need to go to Sento. Right. He immediately leaves them like, where are you going? He immediately goes to them and he gets the devices. Oh yeah.
This is a good scene too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, well that's also this is kind of one of those other fun things where it's like, hey, we still have the cafe set.
Let's keep using it. And I like how he ran straight for that fridge thing.
Yes.
He never, in the first episode, he didn't look what was inside the fridge.
Right.
He just knew that Sento came out of it.
Right.
But he's like, I'm gonna go back to it.
I'll be real. If I ever get like Bill Gates rich in the future or anything like that, or something like that happens, no, trust me, you guys will be the only ones who come over like, where's Johnny's secret lair? It's in the fridge. Let's go.
It's in the fridge.
I knew it.
It's just Henshin Hangout. Let's go.
Oh, man. We should have a
You
thing
guys
where
will
we
come
just
downstairs. I'm like, Henshin bros. I knew you know.
we should just do a photo shoot. where we're
Everyone's
just
like, where'd he
inside-
go? Everyone's like,
Someone Photoshop just us inside fridges. You know?
There it is. Okay. But
alive, please. I want
yeah. No
wanna
one with
be-
the refrigerator thing.
No.
No Green Lantern stuff.
No, please don't go. No, that's a whole bad thing.
But I will say this though, like one of my favorite things from this episode, again, I'm loving the balance again as always of like the serious storytelling and the comedy. Like one of my favorite things is like when Banjo and Sento go encounter the evil monster build. I love how evil monster build goes, Banjo.
That was
great.
That was great.
I was like, this is hilarious.
because even another build knows I love Banjo.
Exactly. Which is like I was like feels. I'm getting all the feels again.
I will say that there's things in this episode like, oh, that's legitimately funny. Like I agree with you. The letters flying off and the equations are wrong, and there's this look on Sento's face that he's like, I bet on the wrong horse.
I love the part-
No, I love that when they're just like staring at her, like right there.
Yeah.
He's like, and then he's like, if the Banjo's like, this doesn't seem right. He's like, this is terrible.
This is terrible. Oh no. I allowed the idiot to become a Kamen Rider.
this is a good part too.
Yes.
He runs up to him and is like,
All right. Okay, we do the winning. Yeah, formula.
Formula.
What are you doing? Like I was sitting there watching. Like, how did you even get to this?
I rewound
did
it
you
twice.
get to this?
I rewound it twice. Like this is amazing. This is hilarious.
formula.
But again, this is why I compare him to like Naruto, that Goku, that like Luffy, because again they're idiots, but they have hearts of gold.
Yeah.
And when it's in where they're shoved into a corner, they have a plan and they're going to help you save the day. And think about this right now, like I'm loving this guy. He puts the armor on, pays homage to Build, and I love the fact that his finisher is not a kick, but it's a sword.
Right.
So we get to see all these different like Kamen Rider abilities go into a sword now. So it's a real good change of pace. Again, I'm loving this. I can understand why you guys may not be on that much on board for it.
Yeah.
But like as an anime fan of people who like those like shonen type mangas, like I'm like, damn, I'm loving this.
I guess for me, it's gonna take a while, and it's not me even comparing it to other Kamen Rider shows or other. It's just like I'm watching. Every time a new Rider show starts up, I always go, all right, clean slate. Try to forget about all the show you just previously loved or hate, and let's try this out as a brand new show. And I got to episode 1 in here, and I'm like, okay, I'm not here yet, so I will keep going, and I will have to keep going because we're going to talk about it every week.
But and then that's the reason why it's cool that there's 3 of us, because
Yes.
the kind of thing was like when we watch Patranger versus Lupinranger, I'm not always on board with some decisions that they're making, but you guys are there to kind of bring me back.
I
in
definitely am
for things.
more on the Patranger, Lupinranger
Imagine a
fan
show
side.
where everybody, all 3 of us had the same opinion. It was
Exactly.
That's
exactly.
boring.
Exactly.
Why would you watch that?
It's cool because we have different tastes, just like everyone in our comments.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm loving the fact the way they ended it though, because I was like, I was a little bit worried, like, wait, so this is gonna be a whole season with guys always trying to kill him and everything like that. But then I love the way they kind of ended it, where it's like, oh, okay, they're moving to the house, they're gonna live upstairs.
So they're gonna build a little relationship with them, you know?
Yeah. I mean, right now, like this is if you look at this what we have right here, though, that's our core characters.
These
obviously.
3. These 3 are the cores.
Yeah, these 3 are the core, and Uncle. I'm looking forward to more stuff with the Uncle. I'm hoping that we get something interesting out of him. Right now, he's just like, I'm here, and I am a parental unit. That's the character, and I'm like, well, here's hoping, because, like, you know, like, say, like, if you've seen Jezzer, I'm a big fan of Uncle Mario, and I think he's a really great character. He's a really sweet character, and I like the idea of having an older kind of like mentor character. Of course, sadly, you know, like the last time that happened, he was a Volt, and he tried to take over the world. But here's hoping we don't get that. That's probably not the case. He's probably a bad guy.
You think so?
I'm gonna.
You're gonna put it on there.
I might. You know what?
Challenge bet.
All right. You know what? Let's do it.
Hot wing challenge
I'm
bet.
doing.
Wait, we already did the Hot Wing challenge. We got to
No, but for this show. Okay, so what's? I will bet.
What's spicy?
I will bet.
We already did chips.
Yeah.
We done hot wings.
Tell us in the comments.
Yeah, you guys create the bet. You put
Give me the punishment.
No, wait, I have it. I have it.
Forget it.
Got it.
Giants got it.
So here's what we're gonna do. We're not gonna make the same mistake we made last time. I'm gonna go ahead and order the spiciest hot sauce that I can.
Oh.
And in honor of Justin making this bet, we're gonna put on top of and eat Lupia.
That's fair.
Oh,
That's fair. I'm into that.
Yeah.
That's thematic. I'm gonna regret the choice because apparently this will be the one show where he won't be a bad guy. But I will.
Yeah. Is that the bet?
But that's the bet. That's the bet.
Right there.
That's the bet.
What's the timestamp on this?
That's the bet.
It is September.
Wait, how am I involved in this? This is YouTube.
It's September 15th.
Oh, okay, seriously.
You're involved because you're gonna buy the sauce.
Okay, all right. I'll buy some. But seriously, so we have to put. We can't go make all 50 episodes.
No.
Something must. We need to put like a certain view, like
that's true.
Like a certain who reveals himself point.
Right.
So let's say a good time that we saw in Build where we found out the dad was evil was about episode like 13, 14 around there, 15.
Sure.
So let's say we give it about the same thing. Yeah. By episode 16.
Okay, 16.
He should have rebuilt himself by 16.
All right.
Okay,
Now,
that's
if he
it.
doesn't, I'll eat my lumpia words, and that's fair, and I'll burn my mouth off.
Oh, DDT says I got the sauce.
Oh no!
I don't know if that's like.
This is turning into like an episode of Hot Ones, and I'm totally fine with that because I watch that show a lot. Okay, speculation.
Ooh,
Okay,
super chat from Toku. Pepper spray challenge, all or nothing.
no, I'm not doing.
we're not doing
We're not doing that.
You can do that. We're not doing that.
you-
We're not
Toku-
going to put ourselves through the pain. No.
This is not MTV's Jackass.
No, Toku, do that while like taking swallowing a spoonful of
Oh,
cinnamon.
what I do have.
This is like, my name is Johnny Parker, and this is the Henshin
There's-
Challenge.
There's one thing I do have that we could try. I have this electricity game. We could do that. Just like intentionally shock ourselves.
Why don't we do that for round 2? How about
Yeah,
we
let's
do
save
that?
that for round 2.
Not
Save
yet.
that for the next bet.
Yeah, okay.
So around episode 16, I will be literally eating my words and be proven wrong. See,
Literally.
that's my angle right now. It's like just accept I'm gonna burn my mouth off. So yeah, I believe the uncle character will probably be turned into a secret bad guy.
What would you? How many watches would you give this show?
How many watches? Out of how many watches? Right? Like, give me a set number of watches.
Let's do it 5.
5 watches.
Yeah, 5 for right now.
5 watches. Okay. For me, I will give this 2 watches.
I'm with you on the 2.
Okay.
Yeah, Johnny.
This episode,
Fun.
not just one. 'Cause,
No, this episode, not all together. Just this single episode.
Okay, so we had the storyline where guys kind of came through. We also outside the count 2.5 as well because it's a part of it. It's that extension, and I love the explanation they're giving for the time travel. I'm loving the fact we got Sento and Build again in there. I'm loving how they're building this, and I also love the rules they're coming with. That the only way to defeat the Kamen Rider is by using the Kamen Riders like weapons against them and everything like that, which I'm like is very smart. In addition to that, though, I love the fact that some of these situations they don't get to keep the weapon; they have to give it back, which means some way they have to get it back later on, which adds more layers to it. So I see a lot of long form storytelling happen here. So honestly, out of 5 watches, 4.
Oh, you're
double.
Yeah.
I'm loving this.
All
Again,
right,
you know I love anime and manga, so like I love this whole thing. I love the whole thing. I'll be king, and I'm like I want to see him develop it. I love the fact guys is like it's not like a solid friendship. Guys kind of wants to take him out and kill him.
Yeah.
I love the fact that girls kind of believe in him to a certain degree. I love time travel, and again I'm looking forward to seeing this like idiot character again who's like that Goku, Naruto, Luffy base like develop over time and become the king. I am on board for this.
I want to point out right now, I am very happy that you love this show and I'm not sure about it, whereas I really like Lupat and you're not into it. So I feel like that's even.
Good. It's a good contrast.
It's a good contrast.
I think also going back to why he gave those pieces back, could it be that he's trying not to become the Overlord?
Well, no, it's the time paradox because if he doesn't give them back to him, they won't because remember they went back to the past. They won't be able to get them from him the next year type deal. So he had to give them back to him. It was the time loop thing, which again I love because time travel is something very difficult to write, and so to do this for 50 episodes means we get to see a lot of stuff. And again, I got to be real, Wool is a dope villain. I'm loving Wool.
I do like
love
Wool.
how Wool showed up.
I do like Wool.
If he is the villain, though, we don't know. Like
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then we also had the guy with the book, and I love how Wool shows up like, oh, so we're gonna play this game. All right. Let's play. And he kind of like teleports away. It was like, how is he doing that? What's Wool's abilities? Again, so many questions that want to be answered.
Yeah. I definitely want to bring up the fact that like I'm on Team Wool. So no, I love this character. I think it's a fun character. At the very minimum, I'm with you on that. I like the character. I look forward to it. And we're gonna meet more of his crew soon. So that's gonna be fun.
And the next week we got a little X-Aid coming.
Dude, it's X-Aid! It's X-Aid! It's the Dr. Gamer! I am so excited for this!
Oh man, I hate X8.
I know you do! And they're bringing it up in the comments! Everybody is X-Aid next week! Justin is X-Aid! Yeah!
Do you have XA toys to bring next week?
Don't, because
I thought you're a huge fan of XA.
No, I don't. You're misinformed.
No, I thought you were.
You're misinformed.
You don't have any XA toys?
I don't have XA toys.
Toku Kid, wherever you are, right now, if you have
XA
toys,
bring them
please
over
come next week.
So I
please
could
come.
smash
we
it.
need no, Toku, I'll protect them. Don't
So
worry.
we can break it on screen.
Oh my god.
All right, you guys. I mean, I guess that's it for
That's
this
it for this week's
episode.
episode. Yes. Okay, so where can we find everyone on social media? Johnny, go.
You can find me at JohnnyP313 on Instagram, Twitter, and on Gumroad. You can find my comics.
Oh yeah, you can find me on Instagram at Justin Quiz, Twitter at Justin Quizon, and yes, this month I will be finally retiring. Benvio Spielberg. So the last episode should be out maybe even tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. But actually, I did launch my new podcast
Is this
called
the Godzilla one?
No, not yet. That will be next year. But I did launch my new podcast called Morning Word. It's about writing. It's about creative writing. So that is now finally available on Apple Podcasts. You can download that on all your iOS devices as opposed to, adding Rangers on Legacy of War. Now, you can do that. I did that. And, also Nothing New, a remake podcast, is still on the way. Actually, we have to record our next episode.
What's it going to be on?
It will be, what's that?
What's it going to be on?
A movie called Papillon, which I'm sure all our audience is clearly aware of that story. Charlie Hunnam. Thank you, Joe. Papillon. You'd have no idea what I'm talking about, dude. It's fine. Why don't you download and learn about it? So, also, of course, don't forget to find my free webcomic I co-created called
Shining Yusha!
Thank you. Available on Tumblr, and that's it for me.
You can find me on all social media at Jezzer Reyes.
I hate that sometimes. Also, don't forget the spotlight on Elle.
It's coming up next.
She gets the hot seat.
Stick around. It's going to be fun. Well,
Okay. What's up?
It's at 9.
It's at 9.
It's at 9.
It's at 9. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. And
Keep up to everything Trini and
Geek Pop Culture.
bye, guys.
See ya.